In this episode, we are looking at the political scenarios that may take place in Osun State after November 27, 2022. First, and the one that is likely going to top the political situation in the state is issue of the just concluded local government election in the state. We've all heard about how some members of the People's Democratic Party were bragging about using canes and all sorts of outshots to eject the newly elected chairmen and councillors from local government. So what that means is that the governor-elect, if sworn in, may order some members of his party to use force to remove the duly elected council bosses from their respective offices. And recalling that the ruling party, All Progressive Congress, is still having 23 of the 26 members of the State House of Assembly. There's no how the members of the House of Assembly will not use the legislative arm of the government to balance the terror that the executive arm of government may want to inflict on their party. This means the House of Assembly may want to fight back and commence on the impeachment process of both the governor and the new deputy governor. Because definitely forceful removal of an duly elected office holder is gross misconduct according to the extant law of the state and 1999 Constitution, 2022 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. So that could be used to balance whatever terrorism that the People's Democratic Party may want to inflict on the newly elected council bosses. And besides that, there's still speculation among some members of the People's Democratic Party that once the party is sworn in, all the members of the Local Government Education Authority will be forcefully relieved of their appointment. One thing is that the members of Local Government Education Authority and some other boards in the state are statutory. So they have 5 years tenure. Whether the party that appointed them is still in power or not, their 5 years is not challengeable. Anything to do to cut short of their term is gross misconduct. So, and that could be used by the House of Assembly, which is still having a majority of its members to be members of APC, to fight back and balance the terror with the incoming governor, or the governor-elect, Ademola Adeleke, and his deputy. So the third one is the salary issues and the provision of infrastructural amenities. So this is it has been a very serious case in Osun State since 1999. So actually, it has always been that a governor will either do well paying the salaries of workers adequately and doing performing short of providing enough as expected infrastructural amenity as ordinary citizens on the street would have wanted, or the other way around, where a government, an administration will be performing well regarding the provision of infrastructural amenity and will not have a good day with the civil servant in the state. But with the manifesto that was rolled out by the People's Democratic Party and the candidate of the party during the gubernatorial election campaign, in fact, the civil servants in the state were promised some of the salary arrears that were owed to them during the half salary schemes that was used by the former governor of the state, Abdurrauf Adesoji Aregbesola. Besides that, they promised them promotion and that they will be paying them according to their a new level on the promotion scale. And not only that, there are so many other promises that were made to the civil servant, and also provision of massive infrastructural projects across the state were made by both the People's Democratic Party and the candidate of the party, Ademola Adeleke. But the reality is, do we have in Osun State the financial buoyancy to marry the promises made during the governorship election campaign to both the civil servants and the uh, masses on the streets? So it is very clear. Also State, due to the humongous amount of money that has been incurred on the state by previous administration before the administration of Governor Isaac Adiboye, the debt profile of the state uh, is not encouraging, and it even attracted embargo on the state, that Osun State could not approach any financial institution, be in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, to borrow a kobo. That was the situation, that the huge amount of money that were incurred in debt by administration of Rolf Argbesola and previous administration left Osun State too. But thankfully, the incumbent administration, the administration of Governor Isiaq Adigbo has been able to pay off the debt to an extent that the state can now borrow money. Though he himself, I mean the Governor Isiaq Adigbo did not borrow a kobo, did not borrow any money, but he has been able to pay off the debt to the extent that Osun State government can now borrow. Okay, let's assume that the incoming administration now decide to approach financial institution and borrow, for instance, let's say 100 billion naira. Let's be sincere, how many months can 100 billion naira takes Osun State in the term of paying workers' salary and provision of social amenities to the people? Recalling that we only say the incumbent governor of the state has just paid off to the extent that that's to the level that the state can now borrow. It does not mean that all the debts that were incurred on the state have been paid off. No. So that means, consequently, as the monthly allocation comes from Abuja, the money will also be deducted from the sources for the to service the debt, the existing debt. And now, if even the incoming administration decide to borrow 100 billion naira, won't 100 billion naira being added to the existing amount of debt incur or attract another embargo on the state, that the state will not be able to borrow any money from any financial institution in the country? So there is likely going to be a financial crisis around the expenditure and the revenue, the amount of money that is coming into the flow of government, and the intended money that the government may want to spend regarding provision of social amenity and payment of. Yes, we've also learned that the governor-elect Ademola Adeleke and some members of his party, the People's Democratic Party, are already doing everything possible, making consultation with some members of the House of Assembly, and making plans to get rid of the Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Timothy Uweye. It was learned that the governor-elect is open and thinking that the Uweye-led House of Assembly will not be supportive to him, and he has to get rid of it. In fact, there was an allegation of some members of the APC, who are still members of the House of Assembly, being approached with some huge sum of money. That is likely going to be another crisis that may rock the state after this November 27th inauguration, if it takes place in the state.